right. All right, and if you have a playlist that you wanted to have in the background, feel free to do that since we're going to be moving a little faster today and with the weights with us too. Sometimes that's nice to have. I'm actually going to grab mine and turn mine on as well. You know, a lot of times when we start a class, we kind of have this big feeling like when we get to our mat, like, oh, thank goodness I made it here. Because a lot of times the hardest thing to do is to get to the gym or to get to the studio for everything to fall in line. But I still have that feeling here too, even though I just have to go downstairs, right? Or you guys just have to set up your mats wherever you're setting up. It's still a transition from whatever you were doing to be able to create some sort of an environment so that it's possible for you to get your hour of workout and self-care in. So kudos to you. Feel good about that. And so thank you for taking the time to share that with me. Allow yourself to find your breath wherever it might be. It could be up high in your chest. It could be a little deeper into your belly. Tonight we'll move, we'll breathe, we'll sweat. Hopefully let go of some stuff that we might be holding us back a little bit. A lot of times after a yoga practice or any sort of workout, we have this sense of clarity. So if there's a challenge that you are working through at work, at home, in a relationship, this might be exactly what you need to start to work through that. So move your head from side to side. If you want to move your shoulders or your hips or just add any movement anywhere, go ahead. I don't feel like you have to be really confined and stiff or still right here, unless it's what you need. Walk your hands over to the left corner of the mat. Just stretch your right side body for a bit. If you want to take your right hand, place it on top of the left, you could. You could also wrap your right arm behind you. And then make your way back through the middle. Take a quick pit stop back at child's pose. And then walk your hands over towards the right. And back to the middle we go. Stretch nice and long. Let's come all the way up to tabletop. If you want, go ahead and start with your weights right here at tabletop. We're not going to be lifting them, but just to start to get used to the feel. So your hands are right there holding on to your weights, and we're just going to work through some cows and cats. So inhale for cow pose. Exhale as you round your back for cat pose. Inhale, drop your belly, look up, stretch the front of your throat, and then exhale, round your back, stretch through your neck here. And keep moving through these cows and cats. Notice if you're holding really tight to those weights, you don't need to. Just let them be there more for support than anything else. Good, take 2 more. Add some deeper inhales and longer exhales. Very nice. On your last one, just come to a neutral spine and come to kneeling. Take your weights with you, and if you're not using weights, that's perfectly fine. We are going to start with some bicep curls, so you're kneeling. And if you want, I'm actually going to amp it up just a little bit and use 2 sets of light weights. I've got a set of 5 and a set of 3. And for the bicep curls, going to add them stack them together. Make sure your spine is nice and tall and you drop your shoulders down. So rather than hunching up here, relax your shoulders down, draw your navel in, and then start your bicep curls. And even if you're not holding weights, still doing the motion, just keep moving as if you were holding the weights and squeezing your muscles. You'll still get the same activation going on in your biceps. Now we're going to slow it down slightly. So take those weights all the way down to your side and now lift up for a count of 4, 3, 2, 1. Squeeze it at the top and lower it for 4, 3, 2, 1. Lift it for 4, 3, 2, 1. Squeeze it. Lower for 4, 3, 2, 1. This time lift for 2, 1. Squeeze and lower for 2, 1. Lift it for 2, 1. Lower for 2, 1. Good. Now just go back to where you started. We'll call it double time, but it doesn't have to be quite that fast. Take it at your own pace. Keep your breath moving. Keep your neck long, so rather than looking up or looking down, just look straight ahead. Let's take 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Very nice. Release your weights down to your side and stay kneeling though. Keep your right hand down by your side, take your left arm overhead, stretch your side body. Reach over your left ear. And then move to the other side. Right arm over, take a big reach. And then come back to the center. Take your palms together in front of you, clasp your fingers together, and then send your palms away from you. Reach your palms up towards the ceiling. Keep your fingers interlaced. And take that side stretch again. Over to the right. Keep your fingers interlaced. And then over to the left. Back to the center. Release your hands. Clasp your fingers at your low back. Look up this time. Stretch through your throat. And come back to the center. All right, let's come back to tabletop. Grab your weights for this one. Again, if you're not using them, that's perfectly fine too, but if you are using your weights, go ahead and grab them. We're gonna start on all fours, and let's start on the left side so that you can see that first. We're gonna take a straight arm extension, tricep extension. So you're just gonna bring that left arm with the weight in it right back behind you. Try and lift it up as high as you can get it. And when you get to the top, squeeze your tricep and then lower it down. So however you're going right now, slow it down just a tad. Good. So as you lift, let's lift for 4, 3, 2, 1. Squeeze and lower for 4, 3, 2, 1. Lift for 4, 3, 2, 1. Squeeze and lower. 4, 3, 2, 1. Lift for 2, 1. Squeeze, lower, 2, 1. Lift for 2, 1. Squeeze, lower, 2, 1. Back to how you started, a little bit faster. Good. Now come back to tabletop. Extend your right leg back behind you. And bring your left arm back behind you with that weight in your hand. Very nice. Hold it here. Now bring both back to the floor. Good. Now bring both back behind you. And that's all this is. It's opposite leg and opposite arm, but they're moving in the same direction. We're used to moving them in opposite direction, but we're reaching back together and then coming back to our starting position. That's all it is. Inhale as you lengthen. Exhale as we come back to center. 4 more. That right foot can be flexed or pointed. Totally up to you. I lost count. Let's do 1 more. And come back down to all fours. Let's do a couple cows and cats here. Kind of reset before we move on to the other side. Alrighty, moving back to tabletop. Now with the right arm, remember it's just the arm right now and that straight elbow extending back behind you. Feeling it in your tricep. Notice if you're leaning a lot also into that left hand. Try not to lean into it too much. Try and use your core a little bit more. Good. All right, let's start to add a count. So lifting for 4, 3, 2, 1. Squeeze it at the top and then lower for 4, 3, 2, 1. Lift it for 4, 3, 2, 1. Squeeze it. Lower for 4, 3, 2, 1. Lift for 2, 1. Squeeze. Lower. 2, 1. Good. Go back up. 2, 1. Squeeze. Lower. 2, 1. Go back to how you started. Your own pace. Just make sure you're not swinging, right? It's still really deliberate. Your tricep is doing the primary amount of work here. Your shoulders working too, for sure. But not so much gravity, right? All right, now see if you can just extend your left leg back when you bring the arm back. And then when you bring the arm in, bring the knee in as well. A little more fluid on this side. Inhaling as you reach back, exhaling as you come in. Let's take 2 more. Last one. Child's pose. Clasp your fingers at your low back behind you. You can keep your fingers there at your low back if you'd like, or take more of a shoulder rinse by lifting the fingertips away, maybe off to one side, stretch out the opposite shoulder, and then move to the other side, getting into the other shoulder there. Good. All right, 1 more set of exercises I still want to do with tabletop. So you're going to take your left arm with the weight, hold it out to the side, and bring it back in. Out to the side, and bring it back in. To the side, and bring it back in. A few more just like that. Lift for 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower 4, 3, 2, 1. Lift for 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower 4, 3, 2, 1. Lift for 2, 1. Lower 2, 1. 1 more. 2, 1, and lower 2, 1. You got it. Moving to the right side. Lift for 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower. Slow. 3, 2, 1. Lift to the side. 3, 2, 1. Lower. 3, 2, 1, lift for 2, 1, lower, 2, 1, last one, 2, 1, lower, 2, 1, very, very nice. All right, move those weights off to the side and let's just come right up, down dog. Pedal things out here, shake your head. Things have already shifted. I know your triceps are talking to you. Mine are for sure talking to me. Walk your feet up to your hands. Take a ragdoll here. You can grab your big toes or just simply take your arms behind you, like overhead and behind you, or wrap yourself around the backs of your legs. Release your hands to the floor. Very slowly come up to stand. Unwind. And then rise all the way up with your arms. Reach your arms up for mountain pose. Take a little bit of a back bend. Open up your chest by cactusing out your arms. Inhale your arms back up high. Exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift. Forward fold. Do that again. Halfway lift. Forward fold. Downward dog. Just step yourself back. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. This time, come up to your toes. Bend into your knees. Look forward. Hop or step to your hands. Halfway lift. Forward fold. Rise up to stand. Reach your arms high. Forward fold. Empty out. Halfway lift. Breathe in. High plank. Hold it here in your plank. Push the floor away from you. Come forward as much as you can to the tips of your toes maybe. And then keeping your elbows right by your side, chaturanga. Squeeze your rib cage. You're just at a mid plank. Upward facing dog. Inhale. Down dog. Exhale. Up to your toes. Bend into your knees. Hop or step to your hands. Halfway lift. Forward fold. Rise up. Inhale. Forward fold. Exhale. Halfway lift in. Chaturanga. Out you go. Upward dog. Downward facing. Take a breath in. Let it all the way out. Come up to your toes. Bend into your knees. Fly to your hands. Halfway. Forward fold. This time grab your weights. Keep them close to your sides when you come up. Come all the way up for mountain pose. Keep your elbows by your sides. Lift your arms straight up. Forward fold. Come back down. Always keeping the weights close to you. Upward facing dog. Inhale. Down dog. Exhale. Take a breath. Let it go. Bend your knees. Jump to your hands. Keep your weights. Halfway lift. Forward fold. Keep your weights, come up, mountain. Forward fold, empty out. Halfway, chaturanga. Upward dog. Downward facing. Lift your right leg up high. Bend your knee, open up your hip. Press your left heel back. Try and keep your right shoulder towards your mat, but open up your right hip. So can you keep your shoulders square to the floor, but keep your right hip open. Step forward, low lunge. Keep your right hand with that wrist or with that weight and take an easy twist. Right arm up towards the ceiling. And then bring it back down. Step forward to a fold and then come up for mountain. Sit in your chair. Fly your arms back behind you. Come back up for mountain. Breathe in. Sit in your chair. Fly your arms back behind you. Come back up to mountain. Sit in your chair. Forward fold. Halfway lift. Chaturanga. Upward dog. Downward facing. Lift your left leg up. Keep your shoulders, both of them, square to the floor, but bend your left knee, open up your hip. So keep the left shoulder down. Might take a little adjustment. And step forward, low lunge. Easy twist. Feel free to hold on to that weight in your left hand. Bring your hand back down. Fold at the top of your mat. Chair pose right here. Fly your arms back. Mountain pose, lift up tall. Chair pose, fly your arms back. Mountain pose, lift up. Chair pose, send your arms back. One more time, here we go. Lift up high. Sit low in your chair, send your arms back. Bring your hands to heart center. Hold your weights right here at the center. Press your weights together. Feel that connection between the weights. You're gonna feel that all the way through your arms. And forward fold. Halfway lift. Chaturanga. You can come off the weights if that doesn't feel good on your wrists. Upward dog. Downward facing. All right, regardless, come off of the weights so that it's just your palms pressing on the floor. And then lift your right leg up high. Step forward, warrior one. Inhale, come up. Warrior two. Exhale. Flip your front palm. Reverse your warrior. Breathe in deep. Chaturanga. Hands to the floor. Upward dog. Downward facing. Moving to the left side. Warrior one. Rise up. Warrior two. Exhale. Reverse. Chaturanga. So just kind of flowing through this. And if you ever want to take out a chaturanga, you absolutely can. You just meet back at down dog. Take a breath. Let it go. Lift your right leg up high. Take your right knee to your left elbow. Hold it right there. A rock star. Kick your right leg through. Lift your left arm up. Let your eyes focus on your left hand, anywhere you want. And that right foot can be lifted like mine is, or you can bring it back down to the floor like mine is right now. Three-legged dog, right leg high. Warrior one. Reach up. Warrior two, exhale. Reverse your warrior. Chaturanga. Upward dog. Downward facing. Moving to the left side, the left leg goes high. Take that knee to your right elbow, hold it, then kick through rock star. Just do your best here. Just get as open as you can, as strong and as powerful as your body can be right now. And then three-legged dog, lift that left leg up. Step forward, warrior one. Reaching high, warrior two. Reverse. Chaturanga. Take your hands to the floor, flow through your vinyasa, then meet back at your downward facing dog. All right, the next one, you have the option to grab your weights. So lift your right leg high, take your knee to your left elbow, take it to rock star, kick through, and then back to three-legged dog. Right leg goes up high. Step forward. Warrior one, option to grab those weights. Come on up with the weights. Remember to keep them close by. Open to warrior two. So if you have your weights in your hand, see how my elbows are bent? That's what you're going to want to do too. Now some of you will be able to do just a slight bend. Mine are pretty bent right now. I could lower my weights, I guess, too. For the reverse, all it is taking the front arm, punching it straight up rather than reaching back. Just punch that right arm up to the ceiling and chaturanga. So you're gonna pull the weight down, pivot your body, and then come to the floor to flow through your vinyasa. Upward dog, downward facing dog. So keeping the elbows close by, keeping the weight, or keeping the elbows bent, and keeping the weights close by. And then with that reverse, not reaching back, that's all to protect your back, particularly when you have, and your shoulders too, when you're holding weight. All right, lift your left leg, take it through to your right elbow, rock star. I've decided to do it on my weights, I'm not sure why, but that is kind of fun. Three-legged dog, lift that left leg up, step it through, warrior one. Bring the weights if that's what you choose. Exhale, warrior two. Take a breath in and a breath out. Reverse your warrior, just punch that left weight straight high. Chaturanga, pull, pivot, and flow through this vinyasa, nice and slow. Upward dog, downward facing. Breathe in, breathe out. Right leg high, warrior one. One breath, in, warrior two, out. Reverse, in, chaturanga, out. Up dog, downward facing. Move to the left side, warrior one, up you go. Exhale to two, big reverse. Chaturanga. Upward, downward facing dog. Breath in, breath out. Rise to your toes, bend into your knees, float to your hands. Halfway lift, take the waist up if you want. Forward fold. Chair pose, breathe in. Fly your arms back, breathe out. Mountain pose, come up high. Chair pose, fly your arms back. Mountain pose, lift up. Chair pose, arms back. One more time. Mountain, reach high. Chair, reach back. Bring your hands back to heart center this time. Press your weights together. We've been here before. Take a breath. Now we're going to twist to the right. If the weights are kind of getting in the way or impeding your twist, then put them down. You don't need them. I kind of like them. Actually, I like to press the weights together, and that helps me twist a little bit more. But really what we need to rely on for our twist is our exhale. So I'll give you some time here to just let your exhale be your guide for your twist. Finding a little bit more each time. Come back to the center, breathe in. Take it to the left, breathe out. I just saw a bunch of ponytails there go flying in the other direction. I like it when I twist left because then I can see you guys. And forward fold. Put the weights off to the side, halfway lift, breathe in. Forward fold, breathe out. Come to a squat at the top of your mat. Feel free to rock yourself from one heel into the other heel if that feels nice. Or if you'd rather just be really still here and use your elbows, you can press your hips open. A nice stretch for the inner legs, inner thighs. If you're up for crow, take it now. If you're not up for crow, try it anyway. So if you're not up for it, just bring your hands to the floor and start to lean forward. That's where you can stay. If you want to go a little bit further, tip further more forward. Let your eyes look forward and up a little bit. Neck is long. Come back to your squat. Good job. Toe heel your feet together. You're folding at the top of your mat. And then just step back, downward facing dog. Lift your right leg up high, bend your knee, open your hip. Circle your right ankle around. And step forward, warrior two. Grab your weights, actually. Sorry, I should have told you that. If you don't have them, grab them here for your warrior two. And hold them like so that they are vertical. as if you were going to do a hammer curl, because you are. So this is a hammer curl. So again, the weights, you're holding them vertically. Good. Try and relax your shoulders down as much as you can. I know it's not easy. And place your neck, like position your neck where you're most comfortable. So it's not as comfortable for me to look over my right arm like I normally would do in Warrior Two when I'm holding weights. So I'm actually looking straight at you. Very nice. Keep it going. We got just a few more. Let's take 4. Yeah, we can do 4. And 3. And 2. After this one, we're moving back to Warrior Two, but then into Star Pose. Take it up high, and then Prasarita, take it down. So if you want to let go of the weights, you can, but keep them close, because we're going to need them in just a moment. But this might be a nice little rest here for a second or two. Move anything that you need to. All right, go ahead and position your hands so that they're right beneath your shoulders, right there between your feet. Go ahead and grab your weights, and nice and slow with a strong, supportive core. Before you come up, I want you to focus on that first. Core is strong and tight. So your core is doing the work. Come on up. Yeah, and you'll feel that difference in your back. If you just come up all loosey-goosey, then your back is doing too much of the work there. All right, so hold on to your weights, and you're going to want them, you're going to drop your arms down so that your weights are resting right on the sides of your legs, and nice and slow with straight arms and straight legs, you're going to slide the weights down your legs, and then come all the way back up, but it's really slow, guys, really slow. And once you get up, take a moment to squeeze your buns, and then take it back down. So there is no rush here. This is great for your hamstrings, your inner thighs, really fronts, backs of your legs, and of course your glutes. Try and remember to squeeze your glutes when you get to the very top. And just take this at your own pace, nice and slow. And rise back up. Come all the way up to stand. And then come to the center of your mat, still facing the side like you just were in Prasarita legs. We're going to move from a Skandasana, which is a side lunge, into a one-legged Tadasana, which is basically this right here with the bent knee. So we'll start first by stepping the right foot, I'll do the opposite, your right foot out to the right. Bring your weights to your center, your heart center. Yep, and then we're going to move right into one-legged Tadasana. Good, same direction. Step it out to the right, and then bring that right knee up and into your chest. Step it out to the right, back up to one-legged Tadasana. That's all this movement is. So don't feel like you need to stay at my pace. If you want to go faster than me, you can. If you want to go slower than me, absolutely. Just do what works for you, but make sure that you are in charge of the movement, right? So if you start to feel a little out of control, just slow it down. Pause and slow it down. Try and get 3 more in. So good for the hip flexor. We'll stretch it out too, because I know they're tight. 1 more, wherever you are. And then bring that right foot to the floor. Circle around the left ankle a little bit. All right, we gotta go to the other side. So come back to the center of your mat. Take your step out to the left this time. And then bring that left knee up and into your chest. Pause, and then step back out. Bring it in, step it out. Yeah, you all look great. Really good, you guys. Really, really good. Just keep it up. See if you can keep the left foot elevated the whole time coming into that one-legged Tadasana. But if it comes down to the floor, no worries, just lift it back up. Let's take 3 more. 2 more. 1 more. Very nice. Bring that left foot to the floor. And then take warrior 2 with your left foot forward, but facing the back of your mat. So kind of mixing things up just a little bit here. Warrior 2. Hold your weights, how we were last time we were in warrior 2. That was like hammer curls. And then start your hammer curls. Working again at your own pace, but check in with your breath here. Notice your heart rate too. I'm definitely sweating, which is good because I woke up this morning having the intention of going for a run. And I guess I still could have, but seeing all that snow just really took the wind out of my sails there. So I never got in my really good sweat today. So this feels awesome. Very nice. Come back to the center. Now drop your arms straight down, back to the pressarita legs. But instead, we're going to take the heels in, so turning into goddess legs. Come to a squat. Elbows are straight. Palms are facing each other. This is kind of our starting position. We're going to move from here, straighten out the arms and the legs for star, and then return to that goddess, drop the weights. Back up to star, breathe in. Exhale, squat. That's all it is. Inhale, star. Exhale, squat. And again, you don't even really need weights here if you don't want them. Just breathe. Then get as deep as you can. Don't cheat when you get to that squat. Get really low. And once you come up to star, squeeze your buns and take it back down. The next time you come down into your squat, stay right there. Stay here in your squat. And then rotate your palms so that they're facing you. The tops of your palms are facing away. So if you have a watch on, it's facing out in front of you. We're going to do straight arm raises. Right arm first, lower it, left arm, and lower. That's it, right and left. Very nice. Keep moving. Yes, you can, so don't let anything get in your way. This is temporary, and this is definitely what's helping you become stronger and more resilient and healthier and boosting your immune system. Let's do both arms at the same time. Which reminds me to remind you guys, take your supplements, make sure you're eating well, and you're drinking lots of water. That's the stuff that's gonna keep us healthy and sane, right? Nice and slow, both arms. If you get tired with both arms, just return back to one arm at a time or drop the weights, but keep the movement going. Just keep moving. Just keep moving. We're almost done. Almost done with this. We've got 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring those weights back down. Straighten out your knees. Bring the weights to the floor. And fold here one more time and Prasarita. Grab your big toes with your peace fingers and just fold. All right, no weights here. Just walk your hands to the front of the mat. Right foot is forward for your low lunge. Step back to downward facing dog. Pedal your knees out. Lift your left leg up high. Step forward, warrior 2. With or without your weights, it's up to you. And then straighten out your front knee, triangle pose. So reach your left arm forward and then take your left hand, maybe here to a weight. I'm demoing what that would look like. And bend back into your front knee. Release that weight down to the floor. Come into warrior 2. And then warrior 2 to the back of your mat. Right foot is leading now. Straighten out your right knee. Triangle pose. Right hand down this time. Try and stack your shoulders as best as you can. If you want a slight bend in the front knee, that's okay, but do try and keep it pretty straight without totally locking it. Bend back into your front knee, come up into warrior 2, still facing the back of your mat. Take star pose. Warrior 2 to the front of your mat. Chair pose at the front of your mat. Twist to your right. Back to chair pose. Twist to your left. Chair pose. Twist to your right. Stay here in your twist, but step your left foot back. So it's a twisted lunge. Then open up your arms. Keep your legs just how they are and keep twisting to the right, but bring your upper body up. So it's an upright twist. Revolved half moon. So bring your right arm down. I'm sorry, your left arm down. Your right arm goes up. So your left leg is lifted, but your left arm is down. If you want to bend your back knee, you can catch your back foot for a little bit of a bind. If you have a bind, release it. Foot to the floor and fold. Hang here. Let's take gorilla. So slide your hands under your feet. Shake your head out. Very nice. Go ahead and release that. And just drop your head. Come back into chair pose. Twist to your left. Keep your twist, but step your right leg back. And then open your arms. Nice and big. Come on up for your upright twist. Hold it here. Look back at your left thumb. It's there. Revolved half moon. Take that right hand down. You got it. You got it. You got it. Look up at your left hand still. Can you get your right leg just a little higher? And forward fold. Rise all the way up. Let's get really tall. How about a side bend over to the right? And over to the left. And back to the center. All right, there's so much more I wanted to get to. So let's do, come down to a high plank, but grab your weights and come to your high plank on your weights. We're gonna call these, they're a form of an inchworm, but I'm adding a little bit more, so it's like an inchworm on steroids. I don't know if that's a thing. I don't think that's a thing. Press back to your down dog. And option here, you can either step your right foot and then your left foot so you come into a squat, or you can jump forward. But either way, you're gonna land in a squat, take that hammer curl, rise up for star pose, come back down to your squat, hands to the floor, high plank with wide legs. Now you're gonna row your right side, bring it back down, your left side, bring it back down. Chaturanga, lower, upward facing dog, downward facing dog. All right, let's do that same thing again. So either step or hop to your weights, hammer curl, rise up. Back down to your squat, weights to the floor, high plank. Row on the right, row on the left. Chaturanga, upward dog, downward facing. Step or hop to your weights, hammer curl, star pose, squat, weights to the floor, high plank, wide legs, row right, row left. Chaturanga, upward dog, downward facing. Hop or step to your weights, hammer, star, squat, weights down, high plank, wide legs, row right and row left. Chaturanga, upward, downward. Good, one more time, we got this. Hop or step, hammer, star, squat, hands down, wide plank, row right, row left, chaturanga, upward, downward facing dog. Really, really good, you guys. All right, move those weights off to the side. Bring your knees down to the floor. And then tuck your toes under and sit your hips back onto your heels. Bring your hands to heart center and close your eyes. Another little pause, but also a really nice stretch for the bottoms of your feet. A chance for your heart rate to come down just a little bit. We're going to move into some abdominal work. And eventually we'll get to Shavasana. We don't have a lot of time. I'm going to squeeze in as much as I can. But we'll get there. All right, let's make it to our backs now. Lay all the way down. Reach your arms overhead. And you're going to place one palm on top of the other. You can see what my hands look like here, and then they're just reaching over my head. Your legs now are really close together. If that's too much on your low back, then bring your feet, of course, wider. But if you had a goal, it would be to bring them to touching if possible. All right, but very important is you bring that belly button back in the spine. I know I say it all the time, but it's super important. And from here, I just want you to lift your upper body. Lift those arms up, lift your upper body, but your lower half is pressing into the floor. Good. Now see if you can straighten your elbows out a little bit more, just like a centimeter or two. Find a little more length. Yeah. And hold it and breathe. Breathe here. And now lower down. Keep your arms the way they are over your head, but just let them relax on the floor. Draw your belly button in and lift your legs, just your legs. Hold it here. Keep breathing. Squeeze your legs more. Keep holding. You might even want to press your heels together. Yes. And now lower down. All right, now we're gonna lift both arms and legs. Elbows and knees are straight, up we go. Hold it, hold it, hold it. Press the heels together as best as you can. Straighten your elbows out, navel into your belly for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower down just for a breath in and a breath out. Go back up to that same spot where you just were. And now I want you to take your fingers away from each other and legs away from each other and flutter back and forth, arms and legs. Keep going, fluttering for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Awesome job. Draw your knees into your chest. Really, really good. So one of the best things we can do after abdominal work is a bridge or a wheel to move into the opposite direction. So let's go right there. Let's stretch our abdominals. I'm going to go up for a full bridge tonight, which is not like me. So if you don't want to do one, that's okay. But do lift your hips, press your feet into the floor. Hold it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower down. Draw your knees in. Take your arms out to a T. Our palms are facing up. Keep your shoulder blades pressing into your mat. Drop your knees over to the left. From here, if you want to bend your left elbow and bring your left hand to gently bring your top knee closer to the floor, you could do that. So great job tonight, ladies. Thank you for being here and inspiring and motivating me. Let's take it to the other side. So I don't normally do my workouts in the evenings. I'm one of those who, if it's not done first thing in the day, just usually doesn't happen. So this is a good way for me to make it happen. So thank you. And come back to center. Let's take our legs straight up. I know a lot of you like to do cloud pose with your feet over your head and bringing your toes to the floor. If you want to go right there, you can. If you prefer to stay like I am, this is Viparita Karani. We're all the way up into a shoulder stand. Any variation of these is perfect. Just keep your neck very straight. My husband told me that it is supposed to be in the 60s over the weekend, so let's just keep our fingers crossed for that. If you're in shoulder stand, take your feet overhead for cloud pose. Take it slow though, and don't feel like you have to reach a certain destination. In fact, it's more important that you just kind of feel your way through the pose rather than just noticing where you get or where you don't get, but experience what's happening from point A to point B, all that stuff in between. Very slowly come out into happy baby. Grab the bottoms of your feet. Give yourself a little rock. And then gently release your feet and your legs down to the mat. Let them be nice and wide, at least as wide as your mat. Relax your arms wherever they're most comfortable. Close your eyes. Let your ankles be really loose so that your toes just kind of fall to one side. Relax into your hips and your shoulders. Soften through your eyes and your jaw. Shavasana. Take the next several minutes in total silence, and I'll bring you out when it's time. Without moving anything, just take a breath in through your nose and an open mouth exhale. Good. Take a few more breaths just like that. And just like you did at the very beginning of your practice, one of the first things I asked of you is to observe where your breath is, where it's located in your body. And notice that right now. Has it shifted a bit? What feels different for you, physically or mentally? Are there any different sensations that you maybe didn't feel at the beginning of your practice? Or maybe you did feel and that you don't now? Start to wiggle fingers and toes as you start to make these observations. So without moving into autopilot and already starting to get into the rest of your night, just still be present here. Gradually pull your knees into your chest and roll over to your side. And then press yourself up to a seat. You're welcome to keep your eyes closed and your hands at your heart center. Before we open our eyes, just take a moment to bring your attention right to that space between your eyebrows, your third eye center. If you have a visual or a mantra, something that you consider an anchor, imagine what it is or repeat it. That which grounds you, that which inspires you. And with a grateful heart, filled with divine love and devotion and hope, lots of hope. Draw your thumb knuckles up to your third eye center. That divine light and hope and love that's in me, it sees and honors the divine light and hope and love that's in you. So as we bow forward, let's bid each other namaste. Hey, unmute you guys. And you are all off of mute, except for Sarah. Okay.
Very nice, Kim.
Being here.
Thank you.
Welcome. Good. Hey, so tomorrow, 2 opportunities to be with me. One's at 8:15 tomorrow. I'm doing that one through 360 in Naperville. So just click on that link that I sent you. And then tomorrow night at 7 through the Y, we'll do a 45-minute restorative, which will feel so nice, especially after tonight. So we'll get in longer poses for our hips, and I'm excited about it. I look forward to my Thursday night restoratives now. So. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being here. Have a good night.
Thank you.
You're
Bye.
welcome. Bye.
Thanks.
Great.
Thanks.